Hey, guys. As always, I forget everything. Like everything. Where is my Twitch? Where is my Twitch? Я профиль домашней страницы. Окей. Oh, there is even I can choose a quality. That's nice. The dashboard. Okay, let's just read a little bit. So, guys, I'm so rusty because I didn't do any activities like more than months, and no joke, literally. Where to put the freaking screen, guys? So it seems just kind of comfortable. And I forget as always. My chat, and I didn't adjust it like anywhere. Oh, I didn't change anything before I start to stream. What the fuck? Education re-adding out loud. Just let me reopen the chat. God, I literally, guys, I forget everything. How to separate the chat from the window. Here we go. Here we go. So now I see chat. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Okay. Let's just do it. All rights reserved. God damn, bro. Guys, I did it. I adjusted. I did it and adjusted it. I did it and adjusted. So, transurfing, reality transurfing, volume 1, the space of variation. Vadim Zeland. I can't say you how many times I'm already trying to start a book. Vadim Zeland. Translated by Natasha. Okay, we don't need it. Forwards. And I forget to open a window for translation. This is very important stuff, guys, which we do not supposed to пренебрегать, neglect. We do not supposed to. We are the champions, my friend. Dear reader, I have no doubt that, like most people, you want to lead a comfortable and wealthy life. That is free from disease and traumas. However, it may often seem that your life decides otherwise, and it is instead toying with you. As if you were a paper boat in stormy waters. In the pursuit of happiness. You have probably already tried many well-known methods. However, how you manage to achieve great success this way? This book talks about some very strange and unusual things. This may all be so shocking to you that you would not want to believe it. However, it will not be necessary for you to believe. You will receive all the tools you need to test the claim made in this book. I'm just thinking if there is enough lighting, just barely. Probably just need to add a little bit, just tiny bit. And also need to set automatical balance of the light because it definitely didn't work. Yeah, it's probably like that one. Automatical. Where we have been stopped. However, it will not be necessarily for you to believe. Now, this book talks about some very strange and unusual things. This may all be so shocking to you that you would not want to believe it. However, it will not be necessarily for you to believe. You will receive all the tools you need to test the claims made in this book. Having done that, your ordinary view of life will change completely. Transurfing is a powerful method that will allow you to do the most impossible things, impossible from a normal point of view, namely to manage your destiny just the way you like. There will not be any miracles. Something greater is awaiting you. You will be convinced that the unknown reality is much more incredible than any magic, Many books teach people how to become rich and happy. It is all, of course, very tempting. I mean, who would not want to be rich and happy? But when you open the book, there are exercises and meditations that require hard effort. It is a rather depressing reality. Life is practically a test in itself. And yet, and yet they suggest you push and pull even harder, squeezing out however is left inside you. They try to convince you that you are not perfect and therefore you must change. Otherwise, do not count on any good happening to you. Now, it may be the case that you are not quite satisfied with yourself. Yet somewhere deep inside you feel that you do not really want to change, and you are right. Do not believe anyone who says that you are not perfect. How can anybody know how you are supposed to be? You don't have to change yourself. You are looking for the way out in all the wrong places. We won't be doing any exercises, meditation, or soul dating. Digging. Transurfing is not a new self-improvement technique, but it is an entirely different way of thinking and acting so that you can get exactly what you want. Not to strive for things you want in your life, but to get what you want. And not by changing yourself, but by returning to yourself. We all make many mistakes in life, and then we dream about how great it would be to be able to go back to our past and make everything right. I'm not promising you a sweet ride back to your childhood, but mistakes can be fixed. Almost as if you have been back to your past, or rather ahead to the past. The true meaning of these words will be unveiled toward the end of this book. You could have heard or read anywhere else what I'm about to tell you. Thus be prepared for surprises that are as incredible as they are pleasant. Chapter 1. The model of variation. This chapter will introduce you to the theoretical background of transurfing. The method of transurfing is based on the model of variation, which offers a new and fundamentally different view on how the world works. Humanity does not know that it is possible to simply get what you desire instead of striving for it. So, how is this possible? Dreams do not come true. The rustling of the morning stars. The barking of my neighborhood's dog woke me up. That vile creature is always waking me up. God, I hate the dog. Why do I have to wake up from the noises that ugly things is making? I need to go for a walk, calm down and be a bit, and somehow try to suppress the intense desire to burn down my neighborhood's house. Like dog, like dog, like master, they are always bastards. Breaking into my life and trying to get to me. I'm getting dressed, upset and angry. Great, my damn slippers have disappeared again. Where the hell are you, you slick suckers? Suckers? Wait until I find you, I will throw you away. It is wet and foggy outside. I was walking along the slippery trail. pacing through the gloomy forest. Most of the leaves have already fallen off, exposing the gray trunks of the half-dead trees. Why do I live in the middle of this depressing swamp? I take out a cigarette. I don't really want to smoke, but old habit is focusing me, is forcing me. Forcing me? Since when had a cigarette become a necessity for me? Yeah, it is rather disgusting smoking on an empty stomach in the morning. Once upon a time, when I was at a party or among friends, I liked smoking and got pleasure from it. The cigarette was then a symbol of fashion, freedom and style, but parties ends. Gray and rainy everyday lives takes over. This puddle full of messy problem, and each time I smoke away this problem by lighting up, telling myself, okay, now I will have a little smoke, catch my breath, and what the fuck? Gray and rainy everyday life takes over with the puddle full of messy problem, and each time I smoke away this problem by lighting up, telling myself, okay, now I will have a little smoke, catch my breath, and plunge back into this hateful routine. Smoke from the cigarette gets in my eyes. Smoke from the cigarette get in my eyes, and I cover them with my hands like a hurt child. I'm so sick and tired of all of this, and then, as if echoing my thoughts, a branch of a birch tree bent in a particularly insidious way hit me painfully in the face. Damn it! In rage, I break the branch and throw it away. It hangs on a tree and then starts bobbing up and down. Bobbing. Okay. Bobbing up. Oh, it's like it says it is an S or bobbing. Guys. Bobbing up.
Bob. Bobbing up.
Bobbing up. Bobbing up. Insidious. Insidious. Коварный. Insidious.
Insidious.
Okay. Okie dokie. I'm so sick and tired of all of this, and then as if echoing my thoughts, a branch of a birch tree bent in a particularly insidious way hits me painfully in the face. Damn it, in rage I break the branch and throw it away. It hangs on the tree, and then starts bobbing up. Okay, and down, back and forth like the head of a jack in the box. I know what it is. As if demonstrating my inability to change anything in this world. Depressed, I drag myself farther along the path. Every time I try to find this world, it gives in creating hope, only to flick my nose very hard later. It is only in the movie you will see heroes of the swarm, heroes going toward their goal, destroying all obstacles on their way. That doesn't happen in real life. Perhaps life is similar to roulette. Maybe you win one time, a second, or even third. Already you see yourself as the winner, and it seems to you that the whole world in your pocket. But in the end, you always lose. You are nothing but a Christmas goose being fattened up fattened or fattened. Fattened up so that you can be roasted and eaten to the sound of beautiful music and laughter. You have made a mistake because this is not your body. You have made a mistake. Wallowing. Again, this word, like I'm wallowing in this. Wallowing in these unhappy thoughts, I'm come out to the sea. Little waves were viciously biting at the sandy shore. Look at this fucking stuff. Every time when I start drinking tea now, my body is reacting bad way. And that's not good at all. I need to stop drinking tea. I so enjoy it. Wallowing in these unhappy thoughts, I come out to the sea. Come out. Приходите, come out to the sea. Come out to the sea. Little waves were viciously biting at the sandy shore. The unfriendly sea was forcing a cold and wet wild on me. Fat seagulls were lazily wading along the shore. Wading, okay. Waddling. Waddling.
Waddle.
Waddle. Waddle along the shore, pecking at something rotten. Their eyes had a cold and black emptiness to them, as if the world surrounding me was reflected in those eyes. A world that was just as cold as hostile. Some bum was collecting empty bottles on the beach. Just get the hell out of here, you slap. I want to be alone. Okay. Первое сообщение. Automatic anti-bot protection. Get it? Да. Да ничего, ничего, пожалуйста. Всего доброго, пожалуйста. Grateful people just called me and said thank you for the work I've been doing. They were happy. Okay. Where is this bomb? Where is this bomb? Some bomb was collecting empty bottle. Slap. I just wanted to translate a slap word. Oh, fuck my life. So many energy right now. I want to be alone. No, looks like he's heading my way. He's probably going to beg. I had better head off home. Not a moment of peace. God, I'm so tired. I'm always feeling tired even when I'm resting. Resting? What wrestling mean? Okay. It is almost as if I'm going time in prison. It is almost as if I'm doing time in prison. It seems that very soon everything will change, a new era will begin, and I will become a different person and will be able to enjoy my life, but that is all in the future. For now, I'm stuck in the same miserable sweet shop. I'm always waiting. What is the sweet shop? Patagonny? Okay, let's forget. Miserable sweet shop. Okay, I'm just wondering what is a freaking sweet shop is. Мастерская. Like workshop, but sweet shop. Patagonia мастерская. I'm always waiting, but the future never comes. Now, as always, I eat a tasteless breakfast and drag myself off to my boring job, where I once again will have to squeeze out some sort of result that is needed by someone else but me. Yet another day of a burdensome and purposeless life. Burdensome. Burdensome.
Burdensome.
Burdensome.
Burdensome.
And purposeless life. I woke up from the rustling of the morning stars. What was this depressing dream? As if a fragment of my previous life returned to me. Thankfully, it was only a dream revealed. I stretch myself just like my cat does. There he is, lazy buns, sprawled out on the bed. Sprawled.
Sprawl.
Ooh. Out on the bed. You can tell. Sprawl out. Let's. You can tell by the way his ears are pointing that he is aware of my presence. Get your whiskled muzzle up. English become harder now. Усатую морду.
Whisked.
Whisked. Muzzle up.
Whisked.
Get your whisked muzzle up and let go for a walk. I have ordered a sunny day today, and so I'm off to the sea. The bus was going through a forest, and the rustling of the morning stars gradually faded away into the multi-voices chore of the beard community. Over there in the bushes, someone is making an extra effort trying to sing. Food! Food! Ah, there he is, the little good for nothing. How can a fluffy little bundle like you be chirping away so loudly? Incredible. It never occurred to me before that each bird has. I'm a bird. Bird or bird? My god. Forget again. Bird. Bird, okay. Bird has its own unique voice, and yet not one false note is sung. And the many voices produce a wonderful, melodious symphony, something as skilled or chestra orchestra could never match. The sun stretches its rain amidst the trees. This magical illumination brings the huge depths and rich beauty of the forest to life, transforming the woods into a wonderful hologram. My reading speed is fading right now. Oh, I got a message. What? Now that's how the bots attacking us. Okay. If they are not able to write any messages into the chat because you have a bot protection, they actually start to spam you in private messages. That's bad. The sun stretches its rain, it mist the trees, it mist. It's like a long, but it mist.
Amidst.
Amidst, my god.
Amidst.
Amidst the trees, this magical illumination brings the huge depths and rich beauty of the forest to life, transforming the woods into a wonderful hologram. The path leads me gently to the sea. Emerald waves are quietly whispering, talking with the warm wild. The shore seems endless and empty, but I feel calm and comfortable, as if this overpopulated world has created a secluded little space just for me. Secluded. Some people think that our surroundings are just an illusion that we ourselves create. Well, no, I'm not arrogant enough to think that all this beauty is nothing but the product of my imagination. Still, under the oppressive influence of my dream, I started to remember my former life, which in fact was just as gloomy and hopeless as the dream. Very often I have tried, like many others, to demand from this world what I felt it owned me. In return, the world indifferently turned its back on me. Experienced people told me that the world doesn't give in that easily. You have to fight it in order to conquer it. Therefore, I would try doing that, but to no avail. To no avail. I would try doing that, but to no avail. I just wound up wearing myself out. I just wound up. What did it mean? I just wound up wearing myself out. Просто вымотался. I just wound up wearing myself out. However, the experienced people had an answer to this too. You are a bad person. So you have to change yourself and only then demand something from the world. I tried to fight myself, but it turns out to be even harder. Then one night I had a dream. I found myself in some kind of nature reserve. Nature reserve. Nature reserve. I found myself in some kind of nature reserve. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Nature reserve. Nature reserve. Заповедник. I found myself in some kind of nature reserve. Unspeakable beauty surrounded me, and I was walking and admiring this splendor. Guys, I'm sorry for stopping all the freaking seconds, but it is so important to figure out all these words. Splendor. Splendor. Admiring this splendor. Then suddenly, an angry old man with a grey beard appeared. As I understood, he was the overseer of the reserve. He began to silently observe me. I moved toward him, and as I opened my mouth to speak, he silenced me. His voice was cold when he told me that he doesn't want to hear anything. I just can't imagine the situation. That you are a miserable creature, just shut up and listen to me. That he is tired of the cranky and greedy visitors who were never satisfied, always demanding something, making a lot of noise and leaving piles of garbage behind. I silently nodded my head in agreement and moved on. The magnificent nature of the preserve simply astounded me. Why haven't I been here before? Entranced. Okay, there is two words again. Astounded, ошеломительно, astounded, right? Изумлен, astounded. And preserve simply astound me. Why haven't I been here before? And entranced. Entrance. I wandered around with no particular aim, staring in Eve or Ave. Another what? Staring in Ave. Трепет.
Or.
Staring in awe. Okay. Okay. No words could describe how incredibly wonderful the nature surrounding me was. Thus I felt exalted. God damn. Exalted. Превознесен, exalted. I felt exalted without a single thought in my mind. Soon enough, the overseer appeared again. The austere look on his face has eased. Okay.
Austere.
Osteopath. Austere. What does osteopath mean? Osteopath. No, was this? Врач, проводящий лечение при помощи чутких и тренированных пальцев. Окей.
Austere.
His particular aim, staring in awe. No words could describe how incredibly wonderful the nature surrounding me was. Thus I felt exalted, without a single thought in my mind. Soon enough, the overseer appeared again, the austere look in his face has eased, with a gesture. He asked me to follow me. Okay. We climbed into the top of a green hill, where a spectacular view of a picturesque valley opens in front of us. Down in the... Okay, there is word again. Valley. Нахер отсюда. Valley opens in front of us. Down in the valley you can see a village or a settlement of some kind. Little toy houses overflowing with plants and flowers. It was just as a picture taken from a fairy tale. You could have studied the scenery in amazement for a very long time, if only it didn't seem so unreal. I started to suspect that such things could only be experienced in dream. I looked questioningly. Questioningly at the overseer, but he only smiled into his beard, as if he wanted to say, "You haven't seen anything yet." We were walking down to the valley when I began to realize that I couldn't remember how I got to the reserve in the first place. I really wanted to get some kind of explanation from the old man. I think I made a silly remark about how lucky and happy the people are that can afford to live amidst this beauty. Okay. I think I made a silly what it is. I made a silly remark. Okay. People have heard life amidst this beauty. The overseer answered, irritated. And who stops you from being one of these people? I replied with the same old story that not everybody is born rich and that you cannot control your destiny. The overseer ignored my words and said, "That's exactly the point. Every man is free to choose any destiny he likes. The only freedom we have in the freedom to choose." What? The only freedom we have is the freedom to choose. Anybody can choose whatever he wants. His ideas were beyond my comprehension and my philosophy of life. Okay. His ideas were beyond my comprehension and my philosophy of life. So I wanted to argue against him, but the overseer didn't want to hear any of it. As he said, "You fool! You fool! You have the right to choose, but you don't use that right. You simply don't understand what this means to choose. This is all insane, I thought. What does he mean? By that I can choose anything I want? As if everything in this world was allowed? 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 I so wish to know all the words, guys.
Allowed.
Okay, allowed. Then suddenly I understood that all was just a dream. I was puzzled because I had no previous experience of waking up in a dream and thus didn't know how to act in such a strange situation. As far as I remember, once I realized I was dreaming, I hinted to the old man that in a dream. Okay, what hinted mean? Совет, like advice, I hinted. No, I hinted to the old man that in a dream. I hinted. As far as I remember, once I realized I was dreaming, I hinted to the old man that in a dream, as in waking life, he can say all the nonsense he wants. And that is all there is to his freedom. And that is all there is to his freedom. But my comment didn't seem to bother the overseer at all. He only laughed at me, realizing the absurd okay,
Absurdity.
realizing the absurdity of the situation. Absurdity. Absurdity. But my comments didn't seem to bother Avesir at all. He only laughed at me, realizing the absurdity of this situation. Why even bother starting a discussion with a character from my own dream? I started thinking maybe it would be better to simply wake up. The old man probably read my mind well enough. He said, "We don't have a lot of time." I never thought they would send me an idiot like you, but nonetheless, I will have to complete my mission. I, I started asking him what this mission was and who they are. He ignored my question, but gave me a riddle, which seemed silly to me at the time. Everyone can acquire the freedom to choose anything they want. Here is your riddle. How do you get this freedom? If you solve the riddle, your apples will fall into the sky. How did apple get into this? I started to lose my patience, and so I told the old man that I had no intention of guessing any riddles, only in dreams and fairy tales could you see all kind of wonders. While in reality, apples always fall to the ground. To which he answered, "Enough! Let's go. I have to show you something." Okay, just open his phone and show him his dick pic. And then just said, okay, man, that was just a joke. Let's follow. I literally going to show you something more interesting than this. But the man already had no interest in anything else. And he just wanted to stay alone with that old man. When I woke up, I realized that sadly, I could not remember what happened next in my dream. My god. However, I had a strong feeling that the overseer had somehow put information in my head. Information that I could not express with any words available to me. Only one strange word remained in my memory: transurfing. Okay. The only thought spinning around in my head was that there was absolutely no need to furnish my world by myself. Spinning around me, absolutely no need. Absolutely no need to furnish my world. Myself. Okay. Furnish. Myself. Everything was created a long time ago without my participation. But for my well-being, it is also not worth struggling with the world for your place under the sun, because that's the least effective method. Apparently, no one is keeping me from simply choosing the world I would like to live in. At first, the idea seems absurd to me, and most probably I would have forgotten all about this dream, but to my great amazement, I soon discovered that I could remember specific details about what the overseer meant by the expression to choose your own world, and how one could go about doing that. The solution to the overseer's riddle came to me on its own, out of nowhere. Every day I discovered something new, and each time I got very surprised and almost a little bit afraid. I cannot explain rationally where all this knowledge came from. I can only say one thing's for sure: there is no way could have come from me. Ever since I discovered transurfing, or rather, ever since I was allowed to discover it, my life was filled with a new joyful meaning. Anyone who has ever done any creative work know how much joy and satisfaction something made with your own hands brings you. But this is nothing compared to the process of creating your own destiny. Although the expression creating one's destiny in its ordinary meaning is a little out of place here. Transurfing is the method for literally choosing one's own destiny, much like choosing an item at the supermarket. What this all really means is exactly what I want to talk to you about. You will find out why apples can fall to the sky, what it means to hear the rustling of the morning stars, and there are many other very strange things that are only waiting for you to discover them. The riddle of the overseer. There are many different theories about the nature of destiny. One of them says that destiny is the same as fate, something that is predetermined. Predetermined. No matter how you try, you can escape your destiny. On the one hand, such an interpretation can be depressing in its hopelessness. If a person's destiny is not one of the better ones, what? If the person's destiny is not one of the better ones, then there is no hope at all for improvement. But on the other hand, there are all these people who are content with such a state of affairs. Okay, here we have some troubles. People who are content with such, I just telling such and right suck. Content such a state of affairs. Довольно положение дел. But on the other hand, there are all these people who are content with such a state of affairs. After all, it is reliable on and comforting when the future is more or less predictable and doesn't scare you with uncertainty, and yet the fatal inability to escape own destiny can evoke feelings of discontent and inner protests. One feels cheated, out of luck, and so one starts complaining, why is life so unfair? One person have everything in excess. Изобилие, I know what it means, but let me just write it down. I want to keep it, to have it in my list. One person has everything in excess, while the other is constantly in need. Everything comes easy to one person while another runs round and round like a mouse in a wheel, getting absolutely nowhere. One person is gifted with beauty, intelligence, and strength, whereas another, unaware of what sin he is paying for, unaware of what sin he is paying for, unaware of what thing he is paying for. He is labeled as a second-class citizen throughout his entire life. Why this injustice? Why does life, with its infinite variety, put limitation on a certain group of people? Why are these? Why are those that are less fortunate at fault? A deprived person would feel resentment and would certainly try to find some sort of explanation to why things are the way they are. And then all kind of teaching pop up, like the one where they teach you that you have bad karma and that you are paying for terrible things committed in your past lives. As if the Lord has nothing better to do than foster his careless children. Foster. Foster. Well, nothing better to do than to. Okay, foster. Nevertheless, it appears that despite his almighty power, he experienced difficulties with his particular methods of fostering. Instead of punishing people for sin in this life, God, for some unknown reason, postpones retribution until later. Retribution. Okay, until later. However, one might wonder what points there is in punishing someone for things they do not remember. Okay, probably I just need to take a little break, just a little one, because I just need to relax my mind. I feel like if I'm start lose my attention. I just want to check my paracel for my CPU. Because I bought a cooler and there is no mounting kit to keep the cooler or heatsink on the motherboard. I just pressure it by the bottle of vodka, so I need to check. Shipping confirmation. We pleased to inform you that just ship the parts, and here the track which I may. Ooh. Hey. I don't understand the word. There is a German language. November 12th. So it seems if it is still in Germany yet. Ah, they gave it to the airport. There is no any information about when the parcel will arrive. Hmm.
Люди добрые, что же вы стоите? Он же уходит! Ребят, а может быть он не навсегда уходит? Давай, Костя, счастливо. А нет, смотрите!
Give me this second.
Какую-то с собой уводит. А ведь она сюда не одна пришла. Так, стоп, спасибо. Спасибо, извините, пожалуйста, давайте. Стоп, подытожим. Дорогие друзья, не переживайте. Давайте поблагодарим замечательных актеров Самарского драматического театра за эту постановочную драку. Мы вообще-то здесь. извините, пожалуйста, подытожим. Друзья, сегодня играет 6 команд, и только одна попадет в финал. Поэтому закончить свое выступление мы хотели бы словами
I just didn't get what been happening. Like there was a real fight. I'm sorry, I didn't see. Screen capture. Wait, is display capturing? It's probably like that one. I didn't get if this was like a real fight.
А ведь она сюда не одна пришла. Люди добрые, что же вы стоите? Он же уходит! Ребят, а может быть он не навсегда уходит? Давай, Костя, счастливо. А не навсегда! Смотрите, он девушку какую-то с собой уводит. А ведь она сюда не одна пришла. Так, стоп, спасибо. Спасибо, извините, пожалуйста, давайте. Стоп, подытожим. Дорогие друзья, не переживайте. Давайте поблагодарим замечательных актеров Самарского драматического театра за эту постановочную драку.
Listen, the situation was.
Мы вообще-то здесь. Так неудобно, господи. Простите, пожалуйста. Так неудобно, господи. Простите, пожалуйста, извините, пожалуйста. Подытожим.
Do you understand what been just happening? Like there was a scene which this like a big man supposed to take a person who already been waiting to be taken and go away. That was like a script. But for some reason he picked up a woman of this man and he was unhappy absolutely because he didn't know about and she didn't know, and that's like he supposed to take a different person and he took this one, and that starts to fight, and there is his friend. Yeah, that's what. And this man supposed to be fighting with with a different one. Like, give me a second. With this one, he's supposed to fight with this one and picked up this woman, but everything went wrong. And he just going to how it calls, my god, guys, зал. Мужчина зашел в зал и начал драться с чужим мужчиной. Man entered to the hall and began to fight with different men. Oh my god. Hey. And that person. This big man supposed to fight with different men, but in reality, look at this.
Стоп, спасибо. Спасибо, извините, пожалуйста. Подытожим. Дорогие друзья, не переживайте. Давайте поблагодарим замечательных театра за эту постановочную драку.
Нахлобучили чувака.
Ай, ты, а! Мы вообще-то здесь. Ай, ты, а! Как неудобно, простите, пожалуйста, извините, пожалуйста, я подытожу
Oh my god, can you imagine this absurd situation happened like literally in real life? Holy fuck. The man just was bought a ticket to enjoy the show, and instead of it this person took his women and took it away, and then other guys from the scene just start fighting with them and then just say sorry guys. Oh man. That's it. Oh, that was fun. Okay, my parasol is still not in my city. Unfortunately. Entered to the hall and began to fight. Oh my god. I'm live only for 1 hour? Only for 1 hour? I just can't believe. I just can't believe. Okay, let's go further. This point, okay. Kind of teaching pop up like the one where they teach you that you have bad karma and that you are paying for terrible things committed in your past lives. As if the Lord has nothing better to do than to foster his careless children, and nevertheless, it appears that despite his almighty power, he... guys, just one more second, please. I just want to check about the Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Yes, it is. Guys. Мелкие исправления, искусственное освещение. I'm just wondering if the Skyrim Anniversary Edition has fixed for my resolution. It is very important to me. I'm just going to put it I just start to download the Skyrim Anniversary editions. Guys, oh my god, that's going to be so fun. It is more than 200 rewards. The game of the year. Так. Осведомление ошибок в горизонтальной обновлении. Сознание начинается после выхода скрининга. Творение. Включенные моды. Особенности репака сна. Так. Глобальный крэк. Угу, DLC моды. Start release application. Guide, official Prime Guide. PDF формат. Смотрите официальный Atmospheric format MP3. But that was unnecessarily to download. Ничего не перекрыть возможно. Угу. Nice. I hope they just integrated the hood fix into the game and I don't need to find any solution in the Nexus mod. I just hope for that. That would be sick. Please, 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 please be it true. So, let's continue. Hey, Tora, just... That's too bright. Instead of punishing people for things in this life, God for some unknown reason postpones retribution until later. However, one might wonder what points there is in punishing someone for things they do not remember. There is another version probably, that tries to explain why there are inequalities in the world. This version, okay guys, let me just hear it.
Version.
Reason postpones retribution until later. However, one might wonder what point there is in punishing someone for things they do not remember. There is another version that tries to explain why there are inequalities in the world. This version gives hope, as it is promises almost immediate compensation to those that are suffering and that are in need. Yet again, you will be rewarded somewhere in heaven or in another life. No matter how you look at it, explanations like this are not entirely satisfying. It is not even important whether this past and future lives exist or not, because a person is only aware of and remember this one particular life. Thus, in a sense, it is his only life. If you believe that your fate is predetermined, then you fucked up. Then you just fucked up. Important whether this past or future it is. If you believe that your fate is predetermined, then the only way to avoid depression would be to surrender and accept your fate as it is. And as always, there will be new explanation to why you just cannot be successful. You want to be happy? Be happy. Remain an optimist. And be satisfied with what you have. Certain people make it clear to you that you are unhappy because you are always dissatisfied and because you simply want too much. In addition, you can only be happy by definition. That is, you are happy because you are happy. You need to take joy in life, so you kind of agree, but at the same time it is a bit awkward to meet gray reality with joy and happiness. Do you really have no rights to want something more out of life? Why force yourself to be happy when you are not? It is just as impossible as it is forcing yourself to love. So-called enlightened individuals that are busy calling for universal love and forgiveness constantly surround us. If you want to avoid harsh reality, you can put this illusion on like a blanket over your head. And sure enough, you will feel a little better, but deep down inside you wouldn't be able to understand completely why you should be forgiving people you hate or loving those you are indifferent to. What the use? After all, it wouldn't be a natural happiness but a forced one, as if joy should not be coming to you by itself, but rather it should be squeezed out of you. If there is like a limitation in the speed, I don't understand. Why is my speed not correspondent or is not fit to the speed which I'm paying for? So this you are indifferent to what the use out of you. Okay. After all, it will be a natural happiness, but a forced one, as if joy should not be coming to you by itself, but rather it should be squeezed out of you like toothpaste out of the tube. Of course, there are people who don't believe that life is so boring and primitive that it leads to one predetermined fate. They don't want to be satisfied with what they have and instead prefer to take joy in their achievements and not in the situation they are in. For these people, there is yet another conception of fate. Man forged his own happiness. Well, and as we know, we have to struggle to achieve happiness. And how could it be any other way? Smart people say that nothing comes easy. It would seem like irrefutable irrefutable fact. Irrefutable. Неопровержимый. Irrefutable fact. If you don't want to accept the happiness as it is, then you need to elbow your way to your own happiness. Elbow? Then you need to elbow your way to your own happiness. Тогда тебе нужно оттолкнуть себя к собственному счастью. History lessons tell us of how bravely the heroes have fought and how they were sacrificing themselves, fighting day and night, overcoming unthinkable obstacles. Those that won the battle were greatly rewarded, but only after enduring immense burdens and great losses of constant struggle. Those that won the battle were greatly rewarded, but only after enduring immense burdens and great losses of constant struggle. Okay, but that's not the whole story. Millions fight and toil. Millions fight and toil. And told, but only a handful actually succeed. You could waste your entire life on a desperate struggle for a place in the sun, and all could still be in vain. Why is this life so cruel and hopeless? What a heavy requirement it is to have to fight the world so that you can make your own happiness. And if the world doesn't give in, then you have to fight yourself. You are so poor, sick, ugly and unhappy, it is your own fault. You have many flaws and therefore you must change. Man is faced with the fact that from the very beginning of his life he was nothing but an assortment of flaws. Assortment of flaws and defects. Assortment.
Assortment.
Flaws.
Flaws.
Defects.
Defects.
Defects. Beginning his life, he was nothing but assortment of flaws and defects, which require constant and hard effort. If he is to even dream of happiness, a depressing picture. If he is to even dream of happiness, a depressing picture, is it not? It would seem that if a man didn't get lucky from the beginning and he was not born in the wealthy and happy family, then his lot is easier to humbly. Then his lot is easier to humbly bear his cross or dedicate his whole life to a never-ending struggle. His lot is easier to humbly bear his cross. His lot is easier to humbly bear his cross and dedicate his whole life to a never-ending struggle. Somehow it doesn't feel right rejoicing in a life like that. Is everything really that hopeless? And is there no light inside? No light inside. No light inside. Бляха-мать. And yet there is a way out. And yet there is a way out. And way out is as simple as it is pleasant. Unlike all the alternative listed above. Because it is to be found in another plane. The notion of destiny within transurfing is based on an entirely different view of the world. Now don't go waving your hands in the air and shouting in disappointment that this is just another attempt to feed you a bunch of nonsense. You will agree that every known idea of destiny is based upon a specific worldview which is in turn based on a few premises that cannot be provided completely. For instance, materialism is founded on the idea that matter comes first and then come consciousness, whereas idealism chain the exact opposite. And yet, guys, let me take a little break because I'm literally like lose my attention. I just will go and eat some food and then I will start again. Because when I'm like trying to read, it's definitely like take a lot of energy, like to be concentrated. It is different activities if we would compare it with the gameplay. Gameplay is just relaxing, like most of the time you silent. So I'll be right back, probably less than in 1 hour. See ya, see ya, see ya, see ya, see ya, see ya, guys.